All right, get ready because we're going to be diving deep into a world that we can't even see.
Sounds exciting.
It is, right? It really is. We're talking about the microscopic realm of those gut microbes we always hear about.
Yeah.
Lab-on-a-chip technology and the magic of metagenomics. It seems like
It's a lot.
it is a lot, and it seems like we're going to uncover how this, like, hidden world that we don't even think about shapes everything from,
Our moods.
our moods to even the future of science. I mean, it's pretty wild, all the stuff you sent over.
Yeah, well, it's incredible to think about how these tiny organisms and these like crazy cutting edge technologies are really like revolutionizing how we understand biology, even ourselves.
Right. Yeah, it's like a whole other world happening right inside of us. So, okay, let's start with, like, something that we can all relate to. Gut feelings, like butterflies in your stomach kind of thing, or that gut instinct,
Uh-huh.
when something's off. One of the articles you sent over, Gut Feelings, How Your Microbiome Shapes Your Mood, suggests there's way more to these feelings
Right.
than just like a figure of speech. Like there's something really happening there.
Oh, there is. Our gut isn't just busy digesting food. It's basically like a second brain. The
Wow.
trillions of bacteria that are just like hanging out in there, they're known as the microbiome. They're actually producing neurotransmitters like
Oh.
serotonin and dopamine. And like these are the same chemicals that, help regulate our mood, sleep, appetite, all of it.
So you're telling me it's not just in my head when I'm feeling like anxious or something, like my gut's actually sending signals to my brain
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
impacting how I actually feel.
And what's even more fascinating is that like new research is showing that changes in the composition of our gut microbiome
Okay.
can actually cause measurable changes in mood and behavior. Like there was one study that even found that like they transplanted gut bacteria from anxious mice to calm mice, and it made the calm mice more anxious.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So you're saying that like tiny little microbes in our gut
They
can
could
be
like
influencing our personality.
potentially, it's a growing area of research, but all signs are pointing to the gut-brain connection is a two-way street.
A two-way street, I like that.
Like what we think and feel can impact our gut health, and the microbes in our gut, they're sending signals back to the brain that influence our mental state.
So it really is true when people say you are what you eat. I mean, I guess we're feeding the trillions of bacteria living inside of us too.
That's right.
It makes you wonder though, like, if we can change our gut microbiome,
Yeah.
could we actually, like, improve our mental well-being? Like, is that a possibility?
Yeah, well, that is the question that scientists are really looking into right now.
Oh, wow.
There's a ton of research going on looking at how therapies like fecal microbiota transplantation, it sounds gross,
It
but
does sound kind of gross.
but it's,
Okay.
probiotics, prebiotics, all these can be used to cultivate like a healthy and diverse gut ecosystem
Okay.
and potentially treat conditions like depression and anxiety.
Wow. It's amazing to think about. Okay, so we've established that our gut is like a powerful force.
Yeah.
But let's like zoom out a bit and talk about this lab-on-a-chip technology, which from these sources you sent me,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like something straight out of like a sci-fi movie. Like, can you imagine shrinking down an entire lab
It's
to
wild.
the size of a microchip?
It really is. It's pretty mind-blowing. One of the sources, Microfluidic Marvels Chemistry on a Chip,
Yeah.
it describes how these teeny tiny devices are like changing everything about research and medical diagnostics.
So, like, how does it actually work, though? Like, what's the magic happening behind these miniature labs?
Well, it's all about microfluidics, which is basically the precise control and manipulation of fluids at a microscopic scale.
Okay.
One technique that they highlight in one of these articles is centrifugal microfluidics,
Okay.
which uses centrifugal force to like move tiny amounts of fluid through channels and chambers on a microchip,
Oh, wow.
which allows for rapid and automated chemical reactions and analysis.
So they basically created like tiny obstacle courses for liquids to run through.
Yeah.
And by doing so, they can conduct these experiments and get results way faster.
Exactly. And because they're using such small volumes,
Okay.
these lab-on-a-chip devices are incredibly efficient. You're reducing waste and costs.
So it's like doing chemistry with like a couple of drops of liquid.
Basically, yeah.
That's amazing. It sounds like this technology could make research more accessible, more affordable.
Oh, yeah.
But what about like real-world applications? Like how is it being used today?
Well, one exciting application is point-of-care diagnostics.
Uh-huh.
So imagine going to the doctor and getting test results.
Right then and there.
Yeah, within minutes instead of like waiting days
Yeah.
for lab results.
Oh, that would be amazing, especially for things like, if you have an infection or you're monitoring a chronic condition.
Right.
No more just like waiting and being anxious about it.
Exactly. And, these devices are so portable. Like, imagine using them in remote areas or like disaster zones where you don't have access to those big centralized labs.
Right.
The possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's like such a tiny device that can have such a big impact on healthcare everywhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're just scratching the surface here. Like, what other things could we use this lab-on-a-chip technology for?
Well, think about personalized medicine. Like, imagine analyzing your unique gut microbiome using a lab on a chip
Oh, wow.
right there. Then you could, like, tailor treatments, even develop personalized probiotics.
That is like straight out of Star Trek or something.
It is.
That's wild. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you can analyze someone's individual microbiome right there on the spot,
Yeah.
you get a way clearer picture of what's going on
Right.
and how to help them.
And that leads us perfectly into the third topic, metagenomics, which is basically like
Okay.
taking a census of the entire microbial world
Wow.
without having to like isolate and study every single species.
So instead of looking at each little microbe under a microscope, we're like looking at the entire community as a whole.
Exactly.
Like you're analyzing a whole forest
Yeah.
instead of focusing on just one tree.
You got it.
Okay, so what kind of things can we learn from that? Like from that big panoramic view?
Well, I mean, metagenomics is helping us identify new species of bacteria,
Oh, wow.
understand how all the different microbes interact with each other,
Okay.
and study how these complex communities like, influence everything, our health,
Yeah.
environment, the whole thing.
So it's not just about identifying the players, it's about like figuring out
How they work together.
how they all work together as a team.
Yeah, think of it like an orchestra. Each instrument has its role, and the combination of everything together is what makes the beautiful music.
I like that. Okay, so metagenomics is helping us understand the symphony of the microbial world. I
It's a
like that.
Symphony, yeah.
But like, where do we go from here? What are the like key takeaways that we can actually use in our own lives from all of this?
Well, one key takeaway is that our gut microbiome is a powerful thing.
Okay.
It influences our health and well-being in ways we're still figuring out.
Okay.
And a healthy gut microbiome is a diverse one.
Okay, so it's not just about like killing all the bad bacteria. It's
No.
about like nurturing the good ones.
Yeah.
And making sure that there's a good balance in there.
You got it. And that brings us back to our diet.
Okay.
Because what we eat gives our gut bacteria what it needs to thrive.
Okay.
So a diet rich in fiber, fruits, vegetables, and those fermented foods can really help promote that healthy and diverse microbiome.
So what we eat is not just feeding us. It's feeding all the trillions of
All the little guys and
little guys, right?
Yeah.
It really makes you think twice about that extra slice of cake.
Right. Every bite we take impacts the balance
Yeah.
of our gut microbiome, which can have like far-reaching effects on our physical and mental health.
It really is amazing to think about. Okay, so our gut microbiome is powerful, lab-on-a-chip technologies like changing science and medicine as we know it.
Yeah.
But how does metagenomics tie into all of this? Like, what can it tell us about, like, understanding and, I guess, manipulating
Right.
this invisible world inside of us?
That's a great question, and I think that's something we should dive into a little bit deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll be exploring how metagenomics is helping us like unlock the secrets of the gut-brain connection, maybe even paving the way for these personalized therapies that could totally revolutionize how we think about and treat mental health.
Okay.
And we'll also be looking at the role of metagenomics in developing these cutting-edge lab-on-a-chip diagnostics that could change healthcare as we know it.
That's super exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on the verge of something really, really incredible here.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
It is. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll delve even deeper into these incredible possibilities of metagenomics, exploring how it could not only revolutionize medicine,
Yeah.
but also, like, tackle some of the biggest challenges our planet is facing. Stay with us.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
All right, so before the break, we were just starting to, like, unravel these mysteries of metagenomics
Right.
and its potential in medicine and
Yeah.
beyond, right? I mean, it feels almost like science fiction.
It kind of is. I mean, metagenomics is really giving us this like never before seen look into how these microbial communities interact, especially in our gut, which we know is like so closely tied to our overall health.
You mentioned personalized therapy for mental health.
Yeah.
How does metagenomics, like, play a role in that?
Well, remember how we were talking about how our gut bacteria
Yeah.
produce those mood-regulating neurotransmitters?
Uh-huh.
Well, metagenomics can help us analyze a person's gut microbiome and see, like, okay, what bacteria are actually in there?
Oh, wow.
What are they doing?
So it's like getting a personalized, like, microbial fingerprint
Yeah.
that can tell us what's going on in our gut.
Exactly. And with that information, we can start to think about like really targeted
Oh,
interventions.
wow.
So, for example, if someone's gut microbiome is missing certain beneficial bacteria that we know are linked to mental well-being, we could potentially introduce those through like a personalized probiotic.
Oh, wow. So instead of taking, like, a general probiotic,
Right.
you could get one that's, like, specifically made for your gut.
Exactly. It's like moving away from that one size fits all
Yeah.
and recognizing that just like our fingerprints,
Yeah.
our microbiomes are completely unique.
This is incredible. So it sounds like metagenomics is really paving the way for
Yeah.
this, like, new era of, like, really precise medicine. But we've also got those lab-on-a-chip devices coming onto the scene.
They work really well together.
Okay, how do those two work together?
Well, picture this. You're using metagenomics
Okay.
to analyze someone's gut microbiome, but you're doing it on a lab-on-a-chip device.
Okay.
So you can get that information about, what their gut bacteria looks like,
Uh-huh.
identify any imbalances,
Yeah.
even monitor how well treatments are working, all in real time, right there at the point of care.
So, like, instead of taking samples off to a lab and waiting days,
Yeah,
doctors could just
right
figure
there.
it all out right there in their office.
Exactly. And then think about what we were talking about earlier with those lab-on-a-chip devices
Uh-huh.
in remote areas. You combine that with metagenomics,
Yeah.
and you're totally revolutionizing healthcare for people who don't have access to those, big fancy labs.
It really is amazing how these, like, tiny technologies can have
Mhm.
such a huge global impact. But it's not just medicine, right?
No.
One of the articles you sent me was talking about using microbes to address environmental problems, something called
Bioremediation.
bioremediation. Yeah, that.
Yeah, metagenomics is like the key to that.
Okay.
Because by analyzing the genes in those microbial communities in like polluted environments,
Okay.
we can actually find the microbes that can break down those harmful substances.
Oh, wow. So instead of using all those harsh chemicals to clean up the environment,
Right.
we could just, like, get microbes to do it.
Yeah, and it's not just about finding the ones that can break things down.
Mm.
Metagenomics also helps us understand like how the microbes are all interacting in these environments,
Okay.
which is super important for like figuring out how to use bioremediation in the best way possible.
So it's about, like, understanding that whole ecosystem and how these microbes are all working together.
Yeah, it's like we're partnering with nature
I like
to
that.
heal the planet.
I like that a lot. This is really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, from personalized medicine to, like, cleaning up the environment.
Uh-huh.
It seems like metagenomics is really opening up all these doors.
It really is. But with those incredible possibilities comes responsibility.
Okay.
Like, we need to be really mindful of the risks involved.
Okay, what are some of those risks? Like, what could go wrong?
Well, I think one concern is, unintended consequences.
Okay.
So, like, if we're introducing these, engineered microbes
Right.
into the environment for bioremediation,
Uh-huh.
there's always that risk that we're going to disrupt the existing ecosystems.
Okay.
Or, have effects on other organisms that we didn't anticipate.
So it's like introducing a new species into an environment. You have to
Right.
be really careful.
Exactly. We can't just go around messing with things without really understanding what we're doing. And that's where metagenomics is really like a crucial tool
Okay.
because it allows us to assess those risks before we just, let these engineered microbes loose.
Right. It's all about that balance again.
Is.
Like, understanding how powerful these microbes are,
Yeah,
but also respecting, that complexity of
Yeah.
the systems that they live in.
exactly. And, all of that leads us to another really important aspect,
Okay.
the ethical considerations.
Right. I feel like ethics can get really complicated.
Oh, it can, definitely. So, for instance, like using CRISPR technology to edit the genes of microbes,
Yeah.
that raises a lot of questions about whether we should be messing with the very building blocks of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we're, like, playing God in a way.
It is,
So
yes.
where do we draw the line?
Yeah, where's that line between using technology for good and,
Right.
respecting that natural order of things.
A tough question.
It is. It's something that all of society needs to think about.
Yeah.
Like scientists, ethicists, policymakers,
Right.
everyone. We need to have these open and honest conversations
Yeah.
to make sure that these tools are being used responsibly.
Right. It's not just about the science itself. It's
No,
about what it means for society as a whole.
that's right.
And, having those conversations now before it's too late.
Exactly. And I think that highlights the need for like scientific literacy and
Mm.
critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like as we're learning more and more about the microbial world, we need to make sure that like as a society, we understand enough to have informed discussion about all these complex issues.
So I'm seeing a theme here: balance, responsibility, ethics. Those seem to be like the key things we need
Well,
to remember.
it's about recognizing that the microbial world is incredibly complex. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
And what we do can have some really big consequences.
Yeah.
We have to proceed with both caution and, that sense of wonder that we were talking about. Like, embrace the potential of microbes, but respect their power
Right.
and recognize that, we have to be responsible with how we use them.
Okay. I mean, we've covered a lot
We have.
from, personalized medicine to cleaning up the environment
Yeah.
to all these like ethical questions we have to ask
Yeah.
ourselves. It's clear that like the world of microbes is full of so much potential,
Yeah.
but also like potential pitfalls too.
That's true. And, as we learn more about these tiny but powerful organisms, who knows what we'll discover?
Right. Who knows what we'll be able to do.
Yeah.
This has been incredible. This whole deep dive has really like opened my eyes to the world of microbes.
It's a fascinating world.
It is. And it's amazing to think that these tiny little creatures
Tiny.
are like playing such a huge role
Yeah.
in our health, in the environment, and even in the future of technology.
It's amazing. And I hope that, you'll continue to explore this fascinating world and, engage in those important conversations about
Yeah.
what it all means.
Absolutely.
It's really important stuff.
Yeah, it's clear that the microbial world is just full of wonder
Uh-huh.
and potential, and it's up to us
Yeah.
to make sure we're using all this knowledge
Right.
responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining me on this incredible journey.
My pleasure.
Discovery.
It's been fun.
Remember, everyone, the microbial world is full of possibilities just waiting to be explored.
They are.
Keep learning, keep asking questions,
Yes.
and always remember that with this new understanding
Uh-huh.
comes a lot of responsibility.
It does. We have the power to do a lot of good, but we have to be careful.
Well said. All right, that's it for our deep dive into the world of microbes. Thanks for listening, everyone.
See ya.
So right before the break, we were talking about how these microbes, these tiny little things, could actually help us clean up, like oil spills and heavy metal contamination, the messes we've made.
It's pretty amazing what they can do.
It is. So I'm really curious, like, how do these tiny creatures tackle such big problems?
Well, it really shows you the power of nature. Like, take oil spills, for example.
Okay.
Certain bacteria, they've evolved to actually eat oil.
Wow.
They break down those hydrocarbons into less harmful substances. It's a process called bioremediation.
Okay.
And it's been used, to clean up some major oil spills around the world.
So wait, so instead of using all those harsh chemicals that can cause even more damage, we could just, like, use these oil-eating bacteria?
Yeah, it's a much more natural approach.
Wow. So they're basically, like, digesting the oil,
Yeah, they break it down
turning it into,
things like carbon dioxide and water, which are, naturally occurring.
right?
They don't pose the same threats to marine life.
That's incredible.
Like a microscopic cleanup crew.
I love that. What about heavy metals, though? Like, how do they deal with something like that?
Well, there are microbes that can actually bind to and accumulate heavy metals like lead, mercury, arsenic.
Oh, wow.
They're like little magnets pulling those toxic metals out of the soil or water.
Okay.
And that process is called biosorption.
Biosorption.
It's a much more sustainable and environmentally friendly way to deal with that kind of pollution.
So we're using these microbes to, like, decontaminate the environment. It's amazing how something so tiny can have such a huge impact. But I'm also thinking back to what we talked about before with, the unintended consequences.
Right.
Are there any risks with using microbes for this kind of bioremediation?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's definitely something that scientists think about a lot. Like, we know these microbes can be super effective at breaking down pollutants.
Yeah.
But we have to be sure that we're not, like, disrupting the balance of those ecosystems
Right.
or creating new problems while we're trying to fix the old ones.
So it's like we need to be really careful and
Yeah.
strategic about how we use these microbes.
Exactly. We can't just release them into the environment and hope for the best.
Right.
We need to do, like, thorough risk assessments.
Right.
We have to understand what might happen to other organisms, the
Right.
food web, the whole ecosystem.
Okay, so it's all about responsibility, But I'm also thinking back to the ethics conversation we were having earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Does bioremediation, like, bring up any ethical dilemmas?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing to think about is like who owns and controls these microbial resources,
Yeah.
like who gets to use them and benefit from them, especially when we're talking about microbes found in like indigenous communities or developing countries.
Right. We have to make sure that, like, everyone benefits fairly from these technologies. And
Exactly.
we're not just, like, exploiting them for profit.
Right. It's about respect and making sure those communities are involved.
So it sounds like with all this microbial research, every time we learn more,
Yeah.
we uncover all this potential,
Hmm.
but also these new challenges.
That's the thing about science.
It really is. It's like a constant balancing act,
It is.
harnessing this power, but also, like, making sure we're not doing more harm than good.
You've got it. It's been amazing, hasn't it?
This whole deep dive has really been eye-opening. It's incredible to think about how vital these microbes are
Yeah.
to our health, the environment, even technology.
They really are the foundation of so much.
It's true. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on this incredible journey.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a wild ride, but I think we've all learned a lot about this invisible world that's shaping our lives in ways we never even imagined.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just the beginning.
Yeah,
There's so much more to explore.
that's the exciting part.
It is. So keep learning, keep asking questions, and most importantly, remember that with this knowledge
Uh-huh.
comes great responsibility.
Well said. So to everyone listening out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of microbes. We'll see you next time.